Hello and welcome to my academic leadership trait on decisiveness micro teaching presentation. Friends, today we will speak about leadership, how academic leadership is different from all other forms of leadership in other sectors, and we will speak about particularly the very important trait of decisiveness when it comes to leadership. So, we all know that a leader of an organization, be it a business firm or be it an educational institution, the leader is the one who sets the tone for others because their words and actions are magnified in the interpretations made by the team members. And these are the movements that the team makes in order to progress towards the organizational goals. Now, if we go by the dictionary meaning of a leader, then this is a word that has been derived from the word leaden, and it means to bring forth or to guide. So, leadership is the result of action, and if you act in a way that inspires, encourages, or engages others, you are a leader because there are goals that are achievable only by teams. As individuals, we have limitations of time and energy, and we have to delegate, spot talent, and delegate. So, effective leadership requires to cultivate and maintain an environment that enables more than just developing your own skills. You also need those around you to thrive, the members of your team, the stakeholders of your organization. So you cannot be interested only in your own survival and in your own flourishment. You have to also work towards the thriving of the others. So that's what leadership is. Now, as a leader, we begin with a vision, and the vision is essentially shared. One must be able to motivate, communicate, articulate, inspire, integrate, facilitate, and delegate. As I said, spot talent and delegate. You have limitations on your time and energies. So, as a leader, leadership will be the capacity to translate a certain vision, organizational or institutional vision, into reality. So, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality, and it is done by teams led by effective leaders. Now, today, for higher education institutions, we are talking about academic leadership. Now, although more or less academic leadership also requires the same leadership skills and traits and competencies as leadership elsewhere, but there are minute yet very significant and defining differences between leadership in academia and leadership in other sectors. Say, for example, leadership in the corporate firms, leadership in politics, or leadership in the armed forces. So it poses problems that are distinctly different than leadership in business or government agencies because academic leaders need to stay close to teaching, learning, research, scholarship, community service to bring out the best amongst the academics. So, leadership in academia is personal and face to face, it's that kind of an exercise. And the aims are to improve quality in education. Now, quality in education has several parameters. There's research, there's employment of students, employability of students, there's infrastructure, there's emphasis on sustainability. So, kind of, it becomes a black box where we know what is the outcome, because in this case, the outcome is path breaking, flexible, ever changing universities, because what universities think today, the world does tomorrow. But at the same time, the input is like a black box. So we are performing not just for profits of the firm. we're performing for quality in education. So, in a nutshell, academic leadership is a combined amalgam of personal and interpersonal capacities, of academic capacities, of leadership capacities, and of the various leadership styles. Now, in this presentation, we won't talk about leadership styles, but when we look at the personal and interpersonal capacities, what we find is that the ability to influence, the skill of good communication, the ability to resolve conflicts, self regulation, empathizing, commitment, and decisiveness. So, here we are going to see how important decisiveness is. And this flows into the higher level of academic capacity. So, whether you are building on your research credibility and reputation, whether you're building on the community service that as an institution you are providing, whether you are building on resources, you are trying, making efforts to acquire resources, or you're working towards the enhancement of the reputation of your institution. These personal and interpersonal capacities that we have seen in the lower at the lower level, of which decisiveness is one of the most important capacities, will matter in academic capacities. And then at the tertiary level, the leadership capacities of being a good leader, having good management skills, being able to manage the team well, and also, very important, the other culture related skills. These go into giving you a distinct leadership style, which is a conflation of various styles, and you become somebody who knows the strengths and weaknesses of each style, and you become somebody who is capable of picking and choosing depending on the situation, because these styles are all situation specific. So, decisiveness, very important. Sometimes we are like, trying to find a win win situation, unnecessary delaying things, not taking the whatever, right or wrong, not taking the decision, um, not able to tell apart the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, trying to delve in the gray areas and sitting on the fences and not espousing the right thing. This is a lack of decisiveness, and when it comes to great leaders, this kind of lack of decisiveness is actually a weakness. And those who suffer from this are not able to deliver the organizational goals. So I will be leaving you with this highly, highly inspiring verses. It's a part of a poem by the famous Chartist poet Charles Mackay. And he said, uh, these are very, very deeply meaningful, and I would say very, very decisive lines, very inspiring towards helping you finally take a decision, even if you have to dump a couple of people who may be important, but but you have to take that decision, and you have to be on the path that you think is right. So the poem says, "You have no enemies, you say? Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes, must have made enemies. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from the perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight. These are so profound and these inspire so effectively towards decisiveness. So, this is all I had to say about this important leadership trait, decisiveness, when it comes to leadership and particularly academic leadership. Thank you very much. I hope these words and this presentation will take you one step further towards becoming effective academic leaders, towards becoming such leaders who will take the higher education sector of our country to newer heights in the vastness and diversity of the global village that we live in, and towards becoming academic leaders of repute who will one day give our country a world class university. Thank you very much.